Hello, everyone. You're welcome to another exciting edition of the Premier League preview show on Score City, where passion meets purpose. My name is Adedamola, and today we are looking at the all-important title decider between Manchester City and Everton. We're burying the match between Arsenal and Fulham, whatever result happens there. But that should actually be one to watch out for and an interesting match. I'm not in the studio alone today. I'm with my usual comrades, like I like to call them, Mide and Elizabeth. Mide, good morning. Elizabeth, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. It's good to be. Is it? No. Well, I'm happy to be here. Let's do this more.
Elizabeth, are you happy to be here?
Of course, I'm happy to be here.
It's in a new month. Happy
Of
new
course,
month.
same to you, man.
I just smile. Like I like your smile.
Thank you.
I wish I can also have a beautiful smile. Like women, very very beautiful smile. Men, you always find our face now. God help us.
Amen.
Quickly, let's look at Everton versus Manchester City. Very important match for Manchester City. Bearing what happens if Arsenal wins that match, it means Arsenal will be 6 points ahead of Manchester City before Manchester City plays the match. Mide, how does an Arsenal win affect Manchester City going into that match?
Absolutely and significantly. Yes, because with Arsenal playing earlier and a win, they'll be going 6
2
points.
days before.
They'll be going 6 points,
6 points, yeah.
ahead of Manchester City. And they say a point in hand is better than 10 points.
I get much for hand.
10 points.
10 matches in hand.
Exactly. So, most important thing is Arsenal winning that game. It will pile a whole lot of pressure. And let's not forget that Manchester City are going away to
Everton.
Hugh Dickinson Stadium, and they have been for a formidable side this season. They have been decent at home this season. So, in that game, I would more or less be like, Man City has no excuse. There's no margin for error. It's either you win or you kiss the title goodbye. It's as simple as that. That is, should Arsenal win that game against Fulham, that would be 6 points. Where do they go from here? With just around 3 or 4 games to the end of the game, the end of the season. So, Arsenal winning that game would have a lot psychologically. It will be a lot because it will be reading on Manchester City's players going to that game on Monday.
In consequent matches, Arsenal will be playing before Manchester City.
Yes.
Do you think that, Elizabeth? Do you think that will play a major role in where the pendulum swings in terms of pressure for Arsenal and Manchester City?
Well, of course, there'll be pressure on both sides, but who is more under pressure? It is Arsenal, because whether we like it or not, Manchester City, they have what it takes to swallow pressures like this. They just need to get that first goal. And then when they know Arsenal plays ahead of them, they mount you with that press in the first 20-30 minutes of that game to get a goal. And once they get their goal, they don't stop. So I'm not saying there will not be pressure. Of course, Arsenal plays ahead of them. They get 6 points. They're under pressure to win the game. And not just to win by fine margins in terms of goals. They need to score plenty goals to be on top of Arsenal, because whether we like it or not, it is the goal difference. If the two sides keeps on winning on all their remaining games to the end of the season, it is the goal difference that would settle the issue. I mean, that gives the title to the winner. That means whoever gets the best numbers of goals ahead. So I think it will be a lot of pressure, but I think Arsenal is more under pressure than Man City, to be very honest.
And to add to that, I think if there's any team, City under Pep, they are used to pressure.
Honestly.
So but one thing is they know how to manage it. But one thing is, it doesn't give you that luxury. What Arsenal win means is that it doesn't give them that luxury of, like I said earlier, no margin for error.
Yeah.
Anything short of win, should Arsenal win, is just like
you want to imagine a case whereby Arsenal wins and the Manchester City eventually lose that match. It means the title is almost
so they will go too far. Let them get a draw.
Arsenal is just like one hand on the trophy already. Should that happen?
Well, the question I want to ask is, if this title is looking like something close to 2012 title, where it was between Manchester City and Manchester United, and it was definitely decided on who had the better goal difference. They both ended on the same number of points. Now, can Manchester City, because right now Arsenal now has
3 points ahead.
3 points ahead and plus 1 goal difference. If Arsenal gets a rout against Fulham, though they have not been scoring that much, it means Manchester City are under pressure to also score more goals.
Yes.
Everton so far this season have proved a very strong defensive side.
Yes.
Yes.
Can Manchester City get the goals? It's not even about getting the win now. against Burnley, they showed that they can be suspect to not scoring a lot. Burnley kept them out, just one goal. Can they get that 3-4 goals that they need against Everton?
Well, in as much as it is possible, I don't think that's happening. If you even the Liverpool game that they lost to that Liverpool game that Everton lost, it was lost like almost in the 90th minute.
last kick of the game.
Last kick of the game by that header from Virgil van Dijk. So Everton are a strong side at home, and at their new stadium, they give them morale, and you have experienced defenders there like Tarkowski and all of that. So those guys can defend 90 minutes and they will not be tired. So, but what I know that in that game, Manchester City will win, but definitely not an high-scoring match. Probably a 2-1 win or a 1-0 win or something. They themselves, so they've been finding it difficult to score plenty goals like that. Even against the Arsenal, they scored just 2-1. So, and then let's not forget that this is the business stage of the season where everybody is fighting for something. Even if they are qualifying for Europe, even if they are not. And Everton also, a win for them, give them a shot at Conference League come next season. So his game is not going to be all rosy for Man City. But being Pep Guardiola and the boys that have been through all these stages before, I still see them getting the win.
Let me ask you this question. Like Elizabeth mentioned, I was going to say that Everton's European ambitions, will Lille actually play a role in this match? Would they decide that, okay, we also want to go to Europe and we don't give a damn about who you are, Manchester City or not? We also want to participate in Europe.
Of course, because Everton under
David Moyes.
Moyes, even before him, Sean Dyche, they are a physical side. They are a team that wants to that wins. In terms of aerial duels, in terms of second balls, they kick you, they go man to man with you. They are physical. They are tall. So that is one thing that Manchester City will have to be wary of. They have to be wary of a team that is ready to sit deep, very compact. And they have to play through them. And Manchester City cannot afford to do any sort of slow passing, predictable possession and all of that. They need to take their chances in their space, overload them with crosses because they will not give you that central progression. There's no way Everton is going to sit. So they will let you go down the flank and so they need to bombard them a lot. So Manchester City in this game, what it means for Everton, like Elizabeth said, yes, they are in contention for Europe with the way they are going, and they want to give their fans something at least. Even if they no brigade, they no do anything, maybe they even get something to like she gets. So they want something to make the season memorable. You get, and that display against Everton, like Liverpool, like Lizzie pointed out again. We give them some sort of confidence, some sort of boost, because they are facing a current champion in a local derby, and they actually did very well. And against Manchester City, Liverpool are not. Forget the fact that Liverpool have been shambled this season, but in terms of quality and star, I think they are closer to Manchester City on paper. So they'll be like, if we can do that against our neighbors, Liverpool, who always give Manchester City problem, then why not? Can we not do it? Especially if we are playing at home. So that game, I see it to be. City are still favorite for me, but this is a potential banana skin.
Well, for Everton, they've actually had a very good defensive record.
Yes.
They've done up since this year.
Yes.
They've not lost a match by more than 2 goal matches. Most of their matches the matches they've lost have been very, very narrow.
Very,
losses.
very.
Now, the question I want to ask is, in the last match against what was this match against Liverpool? They actually had injury worries. Yes, and Beto, one of their strongest strikers, is absent. Would that actually play a factor towards the attacking threat, because he's one of their biggest men of forward? Will it affect the attacking threat against Manchester City, who do not really have the strong? I mean, when I say strong defenders, I mean the tall defenders like they used to do in terms of Ruben Diaz and the likes.
Well, in that game, I think one of the reasons why they lost that game was down to that injury of Beto. Immediately, that guy went off the pitch, and they brought in Barry. That game just changed automatically. He's that man that will press you. He's that man that has that energy, that physical strength, and all of that. So I think if he's available for them in this game, it will be a plus. But having Barry in that center forward, Barry is not there. That is not that striker that can give a defense like Liverpool. Man City worry that much. So I think that's going to affect their game. But however, the way they've been playing lately, I think they can get goals from everywhere. There is a James Garner. There is a Ghana. There is a there's this guy, this European. This guy,
okay. Mikolenko.
Mikolenko, thank you, that runs or that makes that wing
And
very
there's
busy.
McNeil too.
There's
McNeil,
Everybody.
they have
In
Ndiaye,
DIA
they
and
have
all of that. So
Kenny,
they know how
this
to
rule,
get
all
their
and all of
goals
that. So
all around. So they don't depend on one man. They don't have that man that will do the job outrightly. So I think that they are going to have an edge with that.
The problem now for Everton is how do they stop I call them the front quartet now. Most teams have trial. Manchester City have the quartet. They have Haaland, Jeremy Doku, Ryan Cherki, and Antoine Semenyo. How can Everton set up to contain these four guys?
like they always do, they will make life difficult, unbearable for Manchester City. They want it to be as compact, as solid as ever. They would say deep, and want to transition, quick transition to hot City, because City will leave acres of space behind them because they are the one doing the attacking and all of those things. So normally they will set up in a low block of 4 banks of this 4 center backs and 4 midfield, and probably have since with Beto even out.
They like
Yeah.
to push a lot of bodies in field. They play 4-5-1. A lot of bodies in field.
That's the 4-5-1 will morph from 4-4. It's more like 4-4-2.
4-4-2,
So
yeah,
it
yes.
morphs from 4-4-2 into So the one in the attack would have to join, and with Beto almost looking like it's not going to make that game.
game.
So it's no brainer that they want to even be more compact, and they cannot afford to because against Manchester City, any slip up and they punish you.
Ladies and gentlemen, now to Chelsea versus Nottingham Forest. It is my pleasure that I have a very bad news for Chelsea fans. For 2 consecutive months, they are unable to produce at least one Premier League goal. Mide, how do you feel about that?
Well, that's actually a very
March
bad.
and April, no Premier League goal.
Well, that is, like I said, it's not something of a tough quality stuff. It's not something you will expect from a big team that is that wants to challenge. So ultimately, it's been a shamble of a season. Chelsea fans will agree with me that we have not been hit this season, whether with especially since Maresca left and January 2nd. It's been going downward ever since then, and maybe hopefully the interim manager can actually breathe some fresh air into the squad, and let's see how it goes.
Elizabeth, Nottingham Forest are 9 games unbeaten, and in those 9 games they faced some very, very tough sides. In fact, yesterday they played against Aston Villa and they got a very, very deserved 1-0 victory, which puts them in full momentum for the final of the Europa League. Can Chelsea get something meaningful against this Nottingham Forest side? This side has scored 5 goals against Sunderland at the Stadium of Light.
What a pity for Chelsea. Even if they are playing at Stamford Bridge, it doesn't matter in this game.
They're actually playing at Stamford Bridge.
That's what I'm saying. I say even if they are playing at Stamford
home
Bridge
does
right
not
now,
count
it
again.
doesn't it do not have any effect in this game. Nottingham Forest is a side that even an Arsenal fan right now will tell you they don't want to face. They've been formidable in recent games, and then they don't just score. They outscore you, and then away from home to Villa Park yesterday, I think they did well. Because don't go away to your rival.
They were at home yesterday. They were the team at home yesterday.
They were playing at home yesterday, right?
Yeah,
okay.
yes.
Now, if you look at the way they play against Aston Villa, rather, you see that they played well. They didn't want to do too much because that game is a semi-final, and you don't want to miss out any opportunity. You don't want to give out lapses. And I would not, well taken penalty from Chris Wood.
Chris Wood, yeah.
Got it on the spot, and it was a good one. I mean, right now for Chelsea, I think they should be worried of how let them not be worried too much about the forward. Can they be worried of that midfield of Nottingham Forest? Because Gibbs White, that guy is...
Elliot Ederson.
That midfield is where that problem is. You see Chris Wood holding that man. You don't need to do too much. Concentrate on that Nottingham Forest midfield. Yes, your midfield is good, but of late, we've not been seeing anything, spectacular from that Chelsea's midfield. So in that game, I think Chelsea should be more worried.
Right,
the only thing I feel like Fallon can do in that game is if you can get a draw, it's fine. But if you think you want to win Nottingham Forest, I think
Do you agree that a draw would be a good result for Chelsea against Nottingham Forest?
No, absolutely no. That will actually be for. I respect the fact that Forest have been on a good run of form. They have been unbeaten the last 9 games, and good win for them in the Europa League yesterday. But ultimately, they are coming to Stamford Bridge. Chelsea have never been formidable, no doubt. But on evidence of what I saw against Leeds United, who are a very good side too, they have been on good form recently, and the way Chelsea managed that game, it was so uncanny of Chelsea. Something that we have not seen of Chelsea in the last especially under the the control, the composure, in the maturity in this on display. So I'll be expecting more of the same tomorrow. On Monday rather, so I'll be expecting more of the same. But ultimately, regardless of whatever form Nottingham Forest is, Chelsea should be winning those kind of games. So
Well,
it will be a bad result.
But I don't want to say this, either being a fan or not. If Chelsea can't get a win against Nottingham Forest, then they should just consider the season over, because
No. The season is already done.
It's over.
It's already done.
the season is already done, but it can be done. Done is done.
Another done. No.
At all. Now in bad pass. Like I've always said, quality for quality, player for player, everything in terms of individual brilliance or what have you. Chelsea are a better side. Forget what and the thing is, Nottingham Forest have contrasting fortunes. They've been firing in the Europa League, but they are still struggling for relegation survival in the Premier League. So I want to believe that Chelsea currently right now, the least that they can get for their fans.
And let's not forget that game will come just before they play the return leg against Aston Villa.
Play against the stuff like yes on Monday. I think
Monday, and they have to play on Thursday.
It's just as good as playing on Sunday and playing a Champions League on Tuesday.
Yeah.
They want it.
These guys want to survive.
If you want to be the best, they have to be the best.
That's what I'm saying. Like for Forest now, they will have to prioritize.
I get what you're saying.
Because they are going away.
The two actually, they must survive in the Premier League.
I was about to ask that question. That
must survive.
Looking at that match,
okay.
Forest are playing against Aston Villa, who will be playing at home. They'll play at Villa Park.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Mide was about to say that. Will it affect how Forest will go into that match? Will they just feel like, okay, let's just rest ourselves, fight for European glory, a shot at the Champions League? At least they'll be playing the Champions for the first time in over 40 years. Yeah. Or fight Chelsea and probably lose away to Aston Villa, who also can actually make the top 5 and qualify for the Champions League.
Yeah, looking at their standing in Premier League, though for me, I think they are a bit safe. A bit. I'm not saying they are totally safe, but they are a bit safe, so they can still, in a way, be like, okay, we can still, even if we don't get the result against Chelsea, we still have about two games to. I'm not saying that. I'm just from my own opinion. Like I'm just saying they might be like, okay, this is a one-off, Any loss or any form of bad performance in the Europa League now, this isn't final. We have come
do you
along.
think that
Forest are actually in a precarious situation right now, because if they say they should forfeit the match against Chelsea to face Aston Villa away at Villa Park, their next match is against Newcastle. After Newcastle, they play Manchester United at Old Trafford. Then they will finish the season against Bournemouth, who are also eyeing Europe. Mm-hmm. So, do you believe that they will actually want to forfeit this?
Well, I am not. I am just saying what I feel.
Yes, I agree.
I am just saying what I feel. So, I feel they will be like, we have come we have come this far. So why not? Why? So it's the same thing for us now against Atletico Madrid and Fulham now. Arteta is in a dilemma now. How do I approach Fulham with Atletico on the horizon? How do I approach this game and not risk more injury?
Well, maybe Arsenal sorry for cutting short. Maybe Arsenal actually had a little bit of advantage, being that they are playing both teams at home.
Yeah, yes, even at home, you can incur injuries.
Definitely.
But do you know that a team that is on form like that, like Nottingham Forest, they will not want to drop anything. They want to keep building on that form.
Yes, they might want to.
Against Chelsea, the fact that they know that Chelsea have not scored a single goal in the Premier League for 2 months. That's a boost for them, that this side they are not even scoring. It was the Chelsea under Maresca that a Nottingham Forest side can be worried of, like, okay, if I face them, I go collect or something.
So you feel like Chelsea doesn't have enough threats?
Right now, yes. So they can still come in their glory and then want to shine.
That would be in a way, it will be foolish of Forest, because this is Chelsea can go bad, but they won't be bad forever. And at some point they will score. But what I'm saying is that if they are actually wise enough, I will be like, even if it were to be Chelsea, I'll prioritize where I think I have a better chance of taking a trophy, a European one at that, and something that will give me leverage to bring in players. Because staying in the Premier League doesn't mean you attract the best. But if you are a Europa League champion, what brought about
Automatic
Champions
qualification for the Champions League.
automatic qualification of Champions League, that will be
More
linked-
revenue.
more
More
revenue.
money.
That qualification gives you 30 million pounds guaranteed.
And aside
Straight
that,
up.
the prestige it gives you. See, I'm not saying that's how they're going to approach it, but I'm just saying if they are actually wise enough, I'll be prioritizing that Villa game. I'll be throwing everything. Thank God that had it been probably they lost the first game or probably drew. I'm like, okay, maybe there's some sort of disbelief in that squad. Okay, maybe there's
Funny enough, a draw away at Villa Park seems it for them.
that is what I'm saying. Like, but to get that draw won't be easy.
Yeah, definitely.
Aston Villa will throw every goddamn
Everything.
thing.
They are playing at home.
They're playing at home. They throw the fans, everything. They will have advantage, home advantage, everything. So they need everything psychologically. They need to be prepared, and they need their best player without getting injured. So these are things that will play. I believe will play. But at the same time, even if there is no the commitment of continental competition, I still believe Chelsea. On what I saw on last Sunday, I believe Chelsea
They're on the right track.
Chelsea have the players. It's just a platform at which they are not. So I will not go into that now. But what I'm saying is that in this game, it will be foolish of Forest to think, okay, Chelsea have not scored in the last 2 games and they are bound to continue that run. No, but Forest themselves, they have been in woeful form prior to that 9-game streak that they are currently on. They have been bad too. They got beaten, left, right, and center. This is a team that Chelsea even beat. No, even on that.
Chelsea have a good
against
record
and Chelsea beat them at home. So all these things are not something. Football is not 2 + 2. Do you get me? So what I'm saying invariably is that Forest needs to do or to take or prioritize their game a lot more.
Elizabeth,
As a Chelsea fan, do you know why he's doing like this? All this sermon is giving is because he's a Chelsea fan.
No,
and he wants to win. A Nottingham Forest that is on form right now.
Okay.
That have been on that reading.
Well,
will not go to Stamford Bridge.
I am not
where
saying
everybody they go collect goals, collect points.
I know. Say.
so Nottingham Forest will go and collect their giveaway too.
Do you understand?
See.
So all this
okay, fine.
They will be foolish of them.
I understand. I said personally. I never said that is what they want to do.
But you see, Forest, I don't think they will go to go that route. Honestly,
let's say I go for them. Let's say
Elizabeth, the question I want to ask now is: can McFarlane put the players in the right mood to get that all important win against Nottingham Forest at Stamford Bridge?
Well, it doesn't even need to do too much. We already knew that the players did not want to play for Liam while he was at Chelsea. So now they are ready to play. And I think they have the qualities, like Mide mentions, they have everything it takes for them to prove that point. And if they don't do it in this game against Forest, when would they do it? At least get a Premier League goal in 2 months. I think this is why it doesn't just need to do too much. Just put the players in the right position, pat them on the shoulder, tell them they can do it. Remind them that these set of players are the one that won this club, the Club World Cup last season. So they have that power, they have that that confidence, they have everything it takes to win this game. So it doesn't even need to do too much. Put the players in the right position, and I see that these players by themselves, what we saw against Leeds, they can do the job.
Is Pedro what's his name? Joao Pedro, is he back?
I think so. Yeah, I saw him in training.
Bayern Munich have decided that they will not renew the contract on Nicolas Jackson.
Yeah.
As Chelsea missed Nicolas Jackson this season.
Well, I won't utterly say yes. No, I don't think. I don't think so.
Would you want him back at Chelsea?
Do I want him back? Well, it depends. It depends on what
the quality of guys that you have now. Do you think Nicolas Jackson has a chance at Chelsea?
With what we have, I think it will more than push your Pedro better than the way Delap and Hugh is doing.
I want to believe that Nicolas Jackson is actually a better backup to Joao Pedro than
and let's not forget that Jackson can actually play on the flank. He started as a winger, so that counts for something.
Only God knows what the owners of Chelsea were thinking when they decided to loan.
No. There was an in-house issue, and there was this thing between the agents and the. But let's not go into that. It's actually a big problem.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to actually be a very, very interesting one for Chelsea because this might determine how the Chelsea's season eventually falls apart totally, because being unable to get a win, they are still in charge. They can still make the Europa League at worst. Chelsea can still make the Europa League at worst. If they win the remaining 4 matches, they have a chance.
And should they even win? They just need to win the FA Cup to make Europa League.
You just have to win the FA Cup to win. So Chelsea, all the ball is in your court, like they will say. Well, thanks for watching. That's our package concerning Manchester City and Chelsea. 2 very, very important matches and all important win for both big Premier League sides. One gunning for the title and one hoping to salvage the remainder of the season. Mide and Elizabeth, thanks for coming. Please do remember to follow us on all our social media handles, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and X. Once again, thanks to everyone that has been watching our videos on Facebook, on TikTok, on Instagram, and X. Those that have been subscribing on YouTube, we say a very, very big thank you from every one of us at Score City to you. Thanks for watching and see you next time.